anytime you can sort of step back, anytime you can get that external feedback or that external look at what you're doing and have some space and have some distance from the role or the competition or whatever, as time goes on especially, you can sort of look back before your next competition or your next run of competitions and you can think, oh, I did this badly, obviously, because I can see it went badly, but what do I do? Obviously my solution at the time didn't work because I was in this position. You can look back and you can think, how should I have gotten out? How could I have avoided it? How could I have not been anywhere near it in the first place? How could I have turned it from a bad position to a good position, or a bad position to a submission, something like that? I mean, there's so many things that you can learn from just watching yourself back, whether it's roles or competitions, even years and years down the line. Like, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 3.5 years, and I've still got footage of some of my white belt tournaments which are absolutely dreadful back in the day, and yeah, I look back and I know that, okay, if I was in this position today, this is how I would get out, and this is what I would do, and this is what I would not do. So yeah, I think anytime you can get that perspective, anytime you can sort of look back and you can tell that you've learned something, or that there's something else you would do, or even if you've learned just not to get caught in those bad positions ever again, that's always good. In terms of what I've learned by watching myself train and compete, carrying on from what I said last time, I mean, yeah, I've learned sort of how to avoid things, and sort of what things look like from the third person perspective. Sort of, obviously when you're caught in a bad position, or you're caught in a submission, or even if you're in a good position, you didn't know what to do next, or you took too long to do something, you don't realize it at the time, especially in a competition where your emotions are completely different. If you're a white belt, you're probably terrified, you've got adrenaline, you've got fear, you've got everything running through at the same time. So yeah, having the ability to sort of learn things by watching yourself back is great. And obviously as time goes on, I've learned more about jiu-jitsu, and I've watched those videos back and I've been able to see different things, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the video footage of myself training and competing. I mean, every now and then I'll watch videos of myself training back in the day just to sort of see what do I do differently, how would I have done something differently, especially if it was a loss that particularly hurt, or one that I felt let get away, or something like that. I mean, it's always good to sort of be able to understand what happened, how it happened, why it happened, and how it won't happen again the next time. Do I think video coaching would help me improve faster? Absolutely. I mean, anytime you can get an external perspective, anytime you can get external perspective from somebody you trust as well, somebody you know, and you have that relationship where you understand each other, and well, he or she understands what you want and what your style is, what you're bad at, and you don't. Obviously, you can't always be in a training room. Sadly, we have things like work and families and lives and girlfriends and boyfriends and things like that, which will distract us, so we can't always be at training. We can't always be sitting down with our coach. And they have lives too. They don't want to sit down with us all the time. So yeah, I think video coaching is a great way to sort of have a nice concentrated way to break that disconnect, which isn't necessarily a private, because obviously people can't always do privates all the time for the same reasons. And yeah, I think it's sort of a natural progression. Everybody sort of does some kind of video coaching in every industry now. And I think it's only natural that jiu-jitsu has started to have its same equivalent. I mean, some people, it's always great to have somebody in front of you who can coach you and tell you what you're doing wrong, but at the same time, that's not always possible. So I think video coaching is the next best thing, and some people learn, I think as we've learned over the pandemic, some people learn great online. And I think once you sort of had that video coaching, you had the online feedback, but you also have people doing it in person rather than just the online feedback, and trying to sort of speak to people who may not be training at the same time, or who may not be able to get access to training equipment for God knows how long. Yeah, I think video coaching is the next step. I think it's the logical progression. I think there's a whole lot we can learn from it.